Hey guys, welcome back. For those who don't know me, my name is Johnny K, and today we're gonna chat with my buddy Mike here in a little bit. Mike recently went out to fish Old Hickory Lake out at Nashville, Tennessee, with my brother Arrow, and I think they had an interesting trip. And so instead of me calling him and talking to him on the phone about it, I was gonna bring you all along for the ride, and we can kind of see where they were catching fish earlier in the week. But before we get into it, I just wanted to do a quick post check. Do you enjoy these type of videos where I'm talking to my buddies about fishing and how they did and what they're catching them on? Or do you want to see more videos where we kind of summarize our fishing trip and capture videos from that trip itself? Or do you want to see quick 1 to 3 minute videos of the lure that we're fishing, how we're fishing, why we're fishing it, and some of those things? I enjoy making videos, but I want to make videos that you all are watching. And so if you can, just kind of engage with the channel a little bit. You know, I know some of you are really good about hitting that like button and commenting, but I really need some of the other guys there to engage and let me know how I'm doing. All right, that's enough of me jabbering. Won't we chat with Mike and see how he was catching fish on Old Hickory Lake with my brother Errol. Hey Mike, how's it going, buddy?
Good, Johnny. What's happening?
Man, just relaxing after a day's worth of work. Got some of my chores done, and interested to hear about y'all's recent fishing trip. Sounds like you and Arrow had a good time going out of Old Hickory Lake.
Yep. We since it was going to look like the last 70-degree day for a little while in beautiful Middle Tennessee, we decided to take a day afternoon off and go out to Old Hickory Lake and see if we could find a few bass.
Yeah, did you happen to catch the water temperature?
Yeah. The we're probably around 64 degrees. The main lake river channel was probably 61, 62 degrees.
Yeah.
So water temperatures have dropped, and quite frankly, they're at optimum temperature. Anywhere between 60 and I think probably 60 and 72 degrees is perfect optimum temperature for the bass.
Cool. Now, I know you normally go out flippers down there at Old Hickory. I don't know if you're at a spot where you could share your screen, but maybe we can kind of talk a little bit about where you went out of and what you fished and some of those conditions. I feel like I got some new YouTube subscribers. I know one of the guys watched. He's from Old Hickory, or fished Old Hickory, and gave you some tips. But maybe you can kind of share about
Sure.
some of the technique that you were catching them on.
So if you look up here, kind of on the left side over here,
Yep.
this is Bull Creek. Flippers is here. They have if you look at their site there, it shows that, matter of fact, it was a FLW tournament that day. They took that picture.
Yeah.
So if you come out of here, out of Bull Creek, and make a left, which would take you up river. So there's a bluff wall here where the river channel comes through. It's quite deep, 35, 40 feet deep along here. And we were actually, my plan was our first stop was going to be along this bluff wall. I've had some pretty good luck here in the last month or so. But it was quite windy yesterday. Wind, I think it was kind of out of the southwest yesterday. So Arrow and I we went up further, and we went into this spot here. There are barges here, and they feed the steam plant. So the TVA Gallatin fossil fuel electrical plant. This is where they load coal. So right in here, there's a little cut. There's a tugboat that sits here, and then there's usually barges that sit here. And I don't know, probably about a month and a half, I caught about a 5-pound largemouth right in here. And so Errol and I were looking to find a way to get out of the wind. And we went into this cut. On my first cast, I set the hook on a largemouth, but he was swimming towards me,
Yeah.
and I didn't get a good hook set, and I lost it. So
Man.
we fished in this area, and I picked up a couple bass in this cut. It drops down to probably about 2.5 feet of water, and then there's a discharge. One of the discharges from the steam plant comes in right here, and with the oxygen flow through the rocks, we had a pretty good idea that there'd probably be some bass sitting in here. So I think I picked up 2 bass in there. They weren't very big, 11, 12 inches, somewhere in that size range.
Yeah. What was you catching them on? Your old tried and true?
The old tried and true. I was throwing Texas rig Zoom Lizard. Arrow was throwing. I think he tried a Ned rig, a chatterbait, a number of different things, and I caught 6 bass yesterday, and all 6 came on a Texas rig Zoom Lizard.
Nice. Is there a certain weight that you like to fish, and if so, why?
Yeah, I usually throw a quarter ounce tungsten weight, bullet weight, with a 2-aught Gamakatsu hook, Texas rigged. And I find that when the bass aren't in a chasing mood, that throwing something that you can work slower, Texas rig lizard, Texas rig worm, creature bait, things along those lines. And I think Arrow has had some luck in the last few times that we've been out with throwing a Texas rig with a swim bait, correct?
Yeah, and that's kind of his go-to lure.
Yeah.
At the moment.
So again, I have 14 rods in my boat, and they're all tied with something different. And I spent the whole day yesterday fishing with the Texas rig. I know Arrow tried a number of different baits, and unfortunately, he didn't have any luck.
Yeah, it sounds like my brother. He's always swapping things around, trying to figure out what they want to bite. So.
Yeah. I think he's got the itch, and he's got all the right ideas of fishing. And frankly, I think it's good when you're out with 2 guys to throw different baits to see what they're hitting on. And it's always good to try different things. So I commend him. He stuck with his game plan yesterday, and just threw a lot of different baits to see if he could entice any of the fish to bite.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. While we're on the screen, do you have another spot or two that we can talk a little bit about?
Sure.
That you like.
We fished in this area for I don't know, probably hour or so. So then we cut across the lake, and this is a bluff wall all the way along here on this side. Okay. So we went up here past the discharge from the steam plant, and that's a noticeable landmark there. And then back in here, so we went into this cut here to try to get out of the wind. So we went in here, so you're in 50 feet of water right here. And there's a boat launch here as well, public launch. So we fished this point, and we had a few hits, but we didn't have any takers. And then we came inside this cut and fished in here and really didn't have much luck. So then we went along this bluff wall, along this bluff wall here, and I picked up a couple along this bluff wall. Again, nothing. I think probably the biggest one I caught along there was probably maybe 13 inches. And so we fished along there. And really what I'm looking for when I'm fishing these bluff walls is any sort of irregularity. So I look for when there's rock fall downs, and you can obviously spot them as the rocks slide into the lake. They created a current break there, and they create a difference in the structure, or they create a structure and a difference in the bluff wall. So I kind of key in on those spots, and those spots that I keyed in on is where we found a couple fish. So we fished that area, and then we ended up going back to my original game plan, as the days are much shorter now. So we went back up and we fished this bluff wall. So from this little cut right here, coming back in here, there's an industrial barge that sits here. And I happened to mention the Arrow. I said, I bet if you threw right on this corner, kind of underneath this barge and along this steel wall right here, probably going to catch one. And just as I said that, I set the hook on about a 15-inch bass, largemouth. So picked up one right there, and then I think I picked up another one back in here, and then we fished our way out, and then we fished this bluff wall. And this bluff wall here, quite frankly, I've had some pretty good luck along this wall. Not getting into schools of fish, but catching onesies, twosies. I caught one more in here. So we fished from probably 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon until it got dark at 4:30, and we were able to get six fish into the boat. Again, nothing big. I think the biggest was probably around 15 inches. The next one was probably maybe 14, 13 inches. One was a dink. It was maybe 7, 8 inches. But it was still nice to get out and set the hook on a few fish yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks like we're about 10 minutes in, so we'll try to wrap up the video in the next minute or two so that we can kind of keep others engaged here. But in
Absolutely.
summary, Mike, you said, it's fall transition, or it's fall right now in Tennessee. It was a nice day. I don't know what the air temperature was, but it sounds like water temperature around, 60 degrees, and you were able to catch them on a Texas rig, 1/4 ounce, dragging a lizard around, fish some of those pockets and caught a few off the bluff walls. And again, when you were fishing those bluff walls, you said you like to look for irregularities, so that there's a different in current break. And anything else that you want to talk about, or do you know when the next time you'll be getting out? I know we talked a little bit about Kentucky Lake and Dale Hollow. Just a quick summary about like those lakes. Is there one that you're looking forward to getting out to more than the other?
Actually, Errol and I were talking yesterday, and I've just got an itch to get back out to Dale Hollow. You and I hit Dale Hollow last summer. We went. It was probably July when you and I were out there. The water temperature was ungodly hot. The air temperature was ungodly hot. There was one fish caught all day, and it was the one you caught on a shaky head. That was a large. I think probably about a 3-pound largemouth you caught that day, and I caught nothing. I got skunked. So you and I fished that lake for probably 9 hours and got one fish, but again, it was the wrong time of the year. But I really want to get out to Dale Hollow, and quite frankly, Kentucky Lake, maybe in the next 4 weeks or so. I've fished Kentucky Lake my entire life, more towards the north end, towards the dam. I know some good areas up that way, so I'm kind of hoping to get back up that way as well. And then there's another lake here locally that I won't mention that I enjoy fishing.
Yeah,
it's one of the hidden gems of this area. So Dale Hollow and Kentucky Lake.
Cool. I know I got a new YouTube subscriber that hit me up the other day, and he says he fishes Kentucky Lake some, and so hoping to get out there with him and maybe learn a new lake and some techniques. That's what's cool about this online stuff, and meeting new fishing people is you get to hang out with some new people, learn some new techniques.
Yeah. One of the things that just kind of from yesterday that again, it was a beautiful day. A little bit on the windy side, but that didn't stop us from getting out and enjoying the weather. The air temperature was nice. We went out and just, frankly, if we didn't catch anything, it still would have been nice just to get out, knowing that the warm days are getting, further and further apart. So it was good to get out. Cool. But one thing that Arrow and I have had, this is the first time he and I have had a chance to fish out of the same boat. And so as I was fishing yesterday, there was one of the first spots that we fished. So I was throwing this Texas rig lizard, and I had a hit, and I said, "Now come on, just what are you waiting for? Take it." I'm kind of talking to this fish. They're just kind of working the tip of the rod a little bit, trying to entice that fish. And the whole time Errol was watching me, and I think when I set that hook, he was astounded. He said to me, "I have never seen anybody wait on a fish as long as you did." He said, "If I counted, you probably waited 15 or 20 seconds to entice that fish to go ahead and take that bait." I said, "Well, sometimes when you're fishing slow, the key is to be patient." Well, so it doesn't always work. You can't always entice them to bite, but there are those times if you're patient with them and work that fish a little bit, you can get them to hit.
Yeah, well, you're older. You have a little bit more patience than us young guys. So,
guys, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Subscribe to Fishing with the K's. I think Johnny does a great job bringing some content to you guys, and I enjoy getting out here and sharing some of my, as an old guy, sharing some of my old ways. And frankly, I enjoy hearing from other people and seeing what they have to say. I'm always open-minded, new techniques, and bass fishing is a great community. So again, like and subscribe.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. Let me close out the video here. Tell the guys thank you for watching, and then we'll stay on, catch up a little bit. See you guys.
All right, cool. Bye.